YouTube and see if we're live.
Oh,
See if you guys get any. What's up, YouTube? We're running some technical testing here, seeing if we're in fact live.
So we should get some kind of notification though.
Yeah, it says we're live. All right, cool.
Okay.
We are ready to rock.
No, yeah, there it is. Yep.
Cool. Well, here we go. Gentlemen, it's November 22nd, 2023. This is the Weekly Jargon. I'm Abel Perez.
Jose Rodriguez.
Roy Zachariah.
And today we are here one day before Thanksgiving. And, the camera already adds about 10 pounds, but this Thanksgiving might add another 15, right? Any plans for the week or for the day?
We've been doing the same thing forever. We always go to my parents' house and traditionally just have, a nice Thanksgiving feast there. So
Nice.
keep that.
Yeah, and it kind of works the same for me. I do have two families, obviously my in-laws, so we skip a year with every family. So every other year we either spend it at my parents, and then the following year at my in-laws. But I think it works out because you get, you still get to do the Thanksgiving. You just don't do it on that Thursday. You probably do it on Friday or you do it on a Saturday. You plan to get together around your family.
Right.
I have 4 other siblings, so for us, it's like we coordinate and we try to put to where maybe that year or that odd year, we all go out to our in-laws. And then the even years, we come back to mom's. But either way, we still have the traditional Thanksgiving at mom's. It's just that certain years it's on a Thursday and the other years it's on a Friday.
Okay. Awesome. Well, today, guys, we are talking about Thanksgiving. What does your Thanksgiving look like? What does Thanksgiving mean to you? Obviously, a lot of history surrounding Thanksgiving, a lot of controversy surrounding Thanksgiving. But I think ultimately, in the United States here, where everything is about making money, we witness that even with holidays like Thanksgiving, where things can be commercialized a little bit. So we're going to dive into things like that, and then of course dive into our own personal traditions, things that we look forward to, things that maybe we don't. But we want to hear your feedback. We are monitoring the comments, so leave a quick note or something significant that maybe we could bounce off of. We'd love to hear your feedback as we dive in here. So, Jose, you were talking about alternating the holidays, and it is interesting having to find that balance. And I remember when my wife and I were first had the kids, and early in our marriage. I have my mom's side, my dad's side, and she had her mom's side and her dad's side. So when we had 4 Thanksgivings, because our family was so young at that time, 4 Thanksgivings to choose from. And we used to drive ourselves crazy thinking, like, where are we going to go? And it was almost like a burden because it would always cause that friction on, well, how much time are we going to spend here? And then you run into your family members later and they're like, hey, where were you at? And, oh, man, we wish you were here. And, you get that guilt. But at that time, it did seem like a burden. And now, we have 3 Christmases to choose, or 3 Thanksgivings to choose from, So as the family ages and unfortunately you lose loved ones, things start kind of condensing a little bit, and people start consolidating their Thanksgivings. And so now we just have the 2, we have 3 options now. And so we usually choose 2, a lunchtime and an evening, and a more traditional dinner in the evening. And but I'll tell you, sometimes I'm thinking, man, I wish we had all those options again. Obviously because you wish you can go back and see, spend time with those people that are no longer with you. But that's kind of the logistics that we've had to figure out on Thanksgiving. So Rohi, do you just do one with all the family?
We do now. We used to do with my wife and I the same thing. We have an early lunch at one house and a late dinner at another house, and try to make sure we eat enough turkey at both places. And but now we've kind of gotten to the point of, like you said, condensing and bringing them back together as to one big meal again. So it helps.
That's nice. My wife and I were talking about doing some plans at the house, and a patio, and doing like because the way my house is laid out, I have a 3.5 car garage, and it faces the backyard, which would be like my patio area, you know. So we said, man, if we put a roll up, you know, garage door that goes to the backyard, you could actually have like all this space. And I said, that would be my dream, is to have like your family, my family, all together, one big thing, you know, and we could just stay home and
Yeah.
and host everybody, right? That would be pretty neat. So, you know, one thing I do appreciate about Thanksgiving though is I feel like commercial America has the least grip on Thanksgiving. You know, it seems to be the most like traditional and easiest on the pocket, right? It's almost like a normal, you know, weekend gathering or barbecue. Everybody kind of pitches in, brings food, and that the expectation's kind of just there, right? What do you guys think?
No, I agree. I think, I mean, just the way it's been, I guess for us, we've been brought up with the holiday. Obviously, it means no school, right? So, I mean, for kids, I think it's the week of.
Yeah.
So my kids are out of school. They enjoy the vacation, and they know that they're going to meet their family that they haven't seen for some time, maybe months, sometimes a year, and they'll be able to gather. So they're anticipating on being around family. I, on the other hand, look at it as a day that, okay, I don't have to work that day. I can enjoy some golf, but at the end of the day, I'll also enjoy my family, and it's pretty important, I think, for us. But and you know, obviously the day after is what people look forward to, right? That's what you hear a lot, is the Black Friday, the Black
Friday, yeah.
But quite frankly, I haven't been like, that's not me. I haven't been interested in trying to get out there and wait for lines. I think there was one time when I was young, early in my marriage, I said, you know, maybe I go out there and wait. And, you know, once I saw how the chaotic traffic that was either at Walmart or a Best Buy, then I didn't think that was for me. You know, I hate being around traffic. So I kind of left that out. But for me, you know, Abel, I mean, back to what you said, when I was young and I first got married and I bought and we purchased this house, we wanted to have the biggest dining room. It was just my wife and I. Have the biggest dining room. We want to have the biggest dining table so that we can fit and accommodate all of our family. And, you know, being naive, you know, I mean, obviously family, I mean, you have other siblings and they have their own plans as well, but we wanted to have a gathering where all family can come together and enjoy that one special day where we give thanks, right? Yeah. And as we got older and had a family of our own, kind of to your point, you really start the nucleus becomes your family, your immediate family. And right now, you know, obviously for me, it's my kids, my wife, and then my immediate family and her immediate family. And we don't try to go beyond that. But even at times, they have their own things going on. My sister has her own family, and she has a family of her kids as well, her husband. So it's hard to get everybody together. It's like herding cats in a way, you know. But when it does work, it's a special day, and I think you get excited to see them that same day.
The only thing I would say, I mean, Abel, to your point about the commercialization, I think to some degree you need that because, again, with Thanksgiving not being a commercial holiday in a sense, it's Halloween and then Christmas. You know, I mean, like there's no, like you would expect, like there's no week of or 2 weeks of like buy your Thanksgiving decorations or anything. You know, maybe buy your turkey or you know maybe the food that goes along.
Right? They'll sell out,
that'll sell out. But like you know. You don't have that, like you said, like that push. And it almost brings up the thing of, you know, are we going to come to almost like Columbus Day or Indigenous Day where we eventually say, well, you know what, is it a real holiday anymore? Do we even need to keep it? And, you know, keep things going. So.
I think Thanksgiving is probably the most, humble holiday, you know, like, and I think that's why it won't go away because, it's kind of that break. It's like that break right before the holidays where we sit there and we give thanks to another. You know, you're like, I really appreciate family and love and my health, and you hear all of these things, and almost no other holiday brings that, right? Even despite like Christmas is like Jesus' birthday and, you know, what Easter represents. And, you know, but those have, you know, the Easter bunny and they have all these characters surrounding it. And it kind of pulls you away from those moral values or family traditions that you grow accustomed to. Not saying that they're not there, but there's all this other noise going around. and pressures of, hey, you not only do you have to bring a nice meal or, look up a TikTok so you can bring a fancy side, but you also have to, get every single one of your kids something because you tell them Santa's going to bring it, right? And you made them write a letter to Santa and things like that. And Black Friday, Jose, is actually, that's Christmas. That's Christmas intruding on it, saying happier Thanksgiving, but the very next day, Thanksgiving's over. Now it's my turn, right? And we have this like 30 days of Christmas where it's like, we're in full marketing mode, right? The businesses are saying, I'll give you a discount on this day. Come start your shopping now, right?
Don't forget Cyber Monday.
Yeah, Cyber Monday, right?
Yeah.
I actually do Cyber Monday, and rather, but not saying that some of these things aren't bad because there might be somebody out there that says, hey, wait a minute, Black Friday, that is my tradition. That is what I do with my family. I enjoy that. Don't take that from me. Don't discredit my version, right? Which is totally okay. Everybody has their own version. Jose goes golfing. Probably like 95% of the country can't go golfing on Thanksgiving because it's cold. It's snowing or the weather conditions, right? But Jose lives in beautiful Madera, California, where you can golf 11 months out of the year. Reach out to us. We can maybe find you some homes here locally and move your family out this way. Yeah.
I'll say though, like when you look at again, like the days you've presented, like Christmas and Easter, they're obviously based on religious. Even Halloween is theoretically religious because of what comes after and before those days.
Sure.
But that's what I'm saying with Thanksgiving having no real like religious basis. It's just essentially an American holiday. Right. I don't think it has the grab.
Well, and cancel culture. I've heard that, right? Oh, Thanksgiving. What did the Pilgrims do to the Indians after that big feast and that big gathering, and what happened there? And so, but I don't think that, I think there's little things that you draw the Pilgrims and the kids will come home with the, different feathers and stuff that they make in school still. And that's about it with that original story, right? Yeah. But I think that ultimately, the way it's viewed for many is an opportunity for gathering. Even seeing some of my cousins who are in college coming home, and it's a break from school, like you said, and that week they're just kind of hanging out and with their family and doing all the fun stuff with their other friends that came from other places. So it really gives us that opportunity to center ourselves around, being thankful for one another, that love, that bond. And so I think it's, the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm selling myself on the idea that Thanksgiving is actually a pretty neat holiday.
And you know what? I think that if we had more of those holidays, that when you strip away the commercial part of it, the commercialization of it, or consumerism, I think you can see a sense of, just more family ties, right? Trying to get out there, enjoying a meal. Because a lot of times, like I said before, this is the one day that families come together. And, I mean, it's not that they don't look forward to, but their busy lives, their kids and what have you, just it's busy. Yeah. So this is the one day that they can't make an excuse. Well, where am I going? Oh, I got my family. I got to go out and visit them, right? So they make that... effort to get out there. But, when you say Thanksgiving, I think of the word Thanksgiving and I say, well, who are you giving thanks to, right? So it's got to have a religious background. It's got to have something tied to religion. And the Pilgrims, weren't they the Puritans that landed at Plymouth? And they wanted to, say thank you for this. I'm assuming if you root that Thanksgiving, it goes back even further where, it was more like a harvest festival. But in our case here in the United States, our harvest festival is done in November, so to speak, because in other areas like even Germany, Oktoberfest, then you have the harvest festival that we do in September, then you have Canada's deal. So they all have their form of Thanksgiving or maybe the harvest festival that, hey, thank you for the harvest that we had this year. This is the way of us giving thanks and coming and enjoying this big feast. Then this is where I think the Pilgrims, or at least in school, we remember that the Pilgrims were the people that initiated this with the Native Americans. I forget I don't want to say their name because I'll butcher the name, but the Native Americans that were there and gathering together to join in feast, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's what history teaches us. Don't know if that was the actual case, but I think that shows that, hey, this was a thankful holiday, but you were thanking someone. And I'm assuming at the time there were Christians thanking the Lord and saying, thank you for getting us here. Thank you for the food. And that's kind of the way our traditions have been, right? That we want to give thanks. But truly, let me ask, do we really give thanks?
Yeah.
Are we there more like, okay, this is a holiday where we get together with our families and we sit around the table, we eat as much as we can. We eat the turkey, the ham, and I mean all these foods. But are we really thankful?
Yeah.
I think there is a great deal of thanks, surrounding Thanksgiving, at least for myself. We do have a very traditional, Thanksgiving, go around the table, say what you're thankful for, so we highlight that aspect of Thanksgiving, right? But I think that, to your point, everybody's version is different though, right? Like if I was a farmer, right, Thanksgiving might be a little bit more literal to what it originally was. To your point, harvest starting right around August, right? The harvest of all your crops and everything, and it goes all the way until November, and right before that cold comes. And I think that's where it's Thanksgiving. We're bringing all of the fruits of our labor to the table, and we're enjoying them together. And we're thankful that we had the opportunity to grow these crops. And thank you, Lord, for the rain and everything like that, keeping the diseases away from the food and allowing us to grow this harvest. And now we're celebrating. So yeah, those 3 months between August and November or 4 months, whatever, are very universal, right? And so you can kind of see that. And so if I was a farmer today, it'd probably be that same, in line with those same traditions. Whereas now, yeah, I don't farm, so I do got to go buy a turkey, so I'm fighting lines and in the grocery store, bumping carts with people, and having that experience. But ultimately, my point, or like I said earlier about TikTok, right? I have to go look up a recipe, or my wife saw this like loaded mashed potato thing, and she's made it, and it was really good. Oh, I'm gonna make that again, right? So now we're gonna go and collect all of the ingredients that other people have harvested and got for us, but we're gonna put that together, bring it to the table. And people are going to be thankful. Man, thank you for bringing all this food. Look at all this. This is a great day, right? I think we do kind of stuff ourselves a little bit, but I think that's all kind of part of the fun, of gathering, breaking bread. And I don't think there's any real other way to bond with that many people other than breaking bread. I think there's a lot of intimacy there.
But I think that's when you look at what Christmas is Thanksgiving just with gifts,
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference maybe of why, again, you don't have the marketing, because unless you start a Thanksgiving tradition of not just come and eat, but we also give a gift.
Give a gift exchange.
You would kind of kill out Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it's essentially the same thing. Come, we have a meal, we have food, but by the way, you all get your gifts that we, made all our money from the harvest of selling all of our food from,
Yeah, buy my jam. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think that's kind of, again, where you can have that dissolve of Thanksgiving, because if you look at it, I mean, like you're saying, yes, it's great to have the week off, but why are we taking a whole week just to come together and eat food?
Yeah.
Instead of just we are going to do it in 30 days later when we have Christmas all over again. And the thing is like when you look at it on a world scale, like nobody else celebrates Thanksgiving, but Christmas, or this time of year of giving gifts, is celebrated even in countries that have no Christian belief.
Right.
And that's what's interesting when you look at, like, again, Thanksgiving, because it's not religious, we all celebrate it.
Right.
But yet Christmas, being, again, it's supposed to be a celebration of us Christians, many non-Christians still give gifts, still put Christmas trees up, still feel the need to take the day off. They still take advantage of that holiday. So, where is that kind of going? Is it still, again, do we just say Thanksgiving is it really worth having a holiday for it, just to come to eat food?
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate with that, because there is a correlation between lack of sunlight and depression or mental health issues, right? Yeah. And the holidays can be rough for a lot of people, right? The sun goes down. The sun's down when you wake up to go to work, and then it's down when you go back home, right? And so you lose the sunlight. days are gloomy, it's cold, and you know the heater's on 24/7, so now that bill's higher. But then you have that pressure of Christmas, what it's become, right? And so typically that end of the year is really difficult for people. You know, is Thanksgiving one of those anchors that creates unity, that gives you that kind of break, if you would, in order to get through those holidays? For me, I think it is. I think I cope with challenges or stress with family unity. Being surrounded by cousins and family, and it's kind of like a rejuvenation of whatever you got going on in life. We come together, and it's like, dang, I missed you. Man, you're an idiot, but I like hanging out with you, right? And those for that moment, you forget about what's happening at work, what's happening with how many bills you have stacking up, how dirty the garage is, all of that stuff, and you're just in those moments, right? And I think those are opportunities that we need. I think they're very beneficial, and you start incorporating some golf in the morning, little things here and there. And yes, we can argue some of those things are expensive, but there's other groups that go out and play football, and they do things recreationally that are free and low cost, but it's again that opportunity to bond and just kind of escape your normal traditions or routines that you have throughout the year, and then just you look forward to those moments. So
yeah, and just to kind of break away from the Thanksgiving, I wanted to kind of go off of what you said there with the in the family unit and what have you. I think for us, growing up, I didn't know what stress was, right? We knew that everything was provided for us at schooling and food and shelter. So we didn't really experience any stress early on in our lives. And not until you start really understanding what it takes to be, just to make it or just living expenses, or your job, for example, you start getting these pressures. And those pressures can amount to stress. So it's how do you cope with stress? And some of us look forward to these specific holidays because weekends are always the days where you say, damn, I'm glad it's Saturday. I can just enjoy, maybe work around my house, spend time with my family. And these holidays are no different. I think for the common folk that's out there working every week, I think that to them, maybe it's a day to get overtime. Maybe it's a day to do something. But a lot of the times, you need break from that as well. And I think when you get back to that unity of being with your family, I think that certainly relieves, or it's a way of coping or getting away from that pressures of work or what have you. But I think these days certainly bring unity and relieve some of the stress. The one point that I did want to make is, being that I'm a first generation from Mexican parents, the Thanksgiving holiday wasn't celebrated back there, and I would ask my mom, like, Dad, what did you guys do for Thanksgiving? And they know how to answer, but they certainly incorporated the tradition into their own tradition, right? So you would see tortillas in the feast, and you would ask, well, why is there tortillas in the feast? I mean, you're having all these, obviously the traditional turkey, the ham, the stuffing, which I think my mom makes one of the best stuffings ever, right? That's me, coming from me. And then all the other sides that go with it. But there was always, and I kid you not, my mom always had tortillas on the side. And I would think, well, how is it that, families from all over, no matter if your families are from Mexico, from Germany, from Europe, whatever the tradition, you incorporate it to some degree. Some that may not eat any poultry may say, well, let's just do something different, right? And they incorporate their own Thanksgiving with their own traditions and customs. But at the end of the day, it's still that holy or sacred holiday where family comes together. I think that's important to mention, because I don't know if any of you has experienced that. I don't know with your families, if there's any additional items that you don't see, for example, in your traditional, the cranberry sauce, the gravy, the mashed potatoes, the green beans.
We have chili bread and fried chicken. We'll get fried chicken, yeah, because turkey has no flavor.
But I mean, but my point is, again, with Christmas, if you use Christmas as an example, if you were to take the week of Thanksgiving out and you just look at Christmas, we're being told as Americans or as Christians that Christmas ends December 26th. And you go talk to, real Christians or Catholics, you understand that the Christmas season begins the 25th and doesn't actually end until the Epiphany on January 6th. So realistically, we shouldn't only have 2 weeks of Christmas. It should be a 3-week Christmas is what we should be celebrating, essentially. So that's what I'm saying is, at what point are we going to do like we do with like Columbus Day or Indigenous Day and say, well, it's not even a national holiday or a federal holiday and banks are open, and it's like we've dissolved it to where it's nothing, and Thanksgiving follows suit to where we say, well, it's a great day. Go celebrate it. We'll give you the weekend off. Go do it on a Saturday or do it on a Friday, and instead of putting it Thursday and the kids are out for a week. I mean, kind of look at that disruption you're causing, right? Like, because it's Thursday, my kids are out of school for a week, then they go back for 2 more weeks off. Like, just make it a 3-week long vacation.
Why not a whole month?
Let's do it.
But I think to Jose's point, it doesn't matter where you're from. It's a country tradition to celebrate Thanksgiving. Anybody can partake in it, and you can make your own rendition of it. Versus like Christmas would never be accepted as like the national holiday because now it's like, well, I'm not Christian. I don't believe in that day, right? So why am I going to be forced to have a whole week towards Christmas, right? Or the 25th through the 6th for Christmas. I mean, Starbucks even stopped putting Merry Christmas on their cups because of that, right? Because they want to be inclusive of everybody. So I think that's kind of the anchor that will always keep Thanksgiving alive. Is Thanksgiving is almost as American as the 4th of July, right? So it's Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Thanksgiving. Those are those two, like, we love our country. We love where we're at. We're thankful for our freedom and all that and the opportunities here. And so I think that's where you get the push from every direction. And probably you're not going to see that go away.
But when you say it like that, let me ask you, I mean, July 4th theoretically should be the most patriotic day of the year. Yeah. And it's one day. Why aren't we taking a week off for July 4th?
Right.
I mean, that's kind of my point. I mean, like is that I'm not discrediting Thanksgiving and its meaning and its American heritage, but why are we looking at, why is every other day, besides, again, Christmas and New Year's, why is every other day a day? Like, it's a federal holiday, like you get one day off. It's a Friday, then you get Monday, whatever. But Thanksgiving,
I'd be interested, maybe if anybody knows, like, maybe it's balanced, right? Like, right before Easter, you kind of have like spring break, right? And so is that kind of just a holiday that was anchored, that we're using as an anchor to say, hey, we're going to take a week off, give a break to our students to, whatever in the spring, and then we have one in the fall or winter, and that we'll call that Thanksgiving since it's close right there. Right, we know that the semester or whatever ends in December. We know it's going to end in May. Let's find a midpoint to give a break, and that's what you see. You see all the midterms being done, right before those breaks. And so I don't know. That could be an influence. I don't have the facts on that, but it seems like it balances, right?
Well, you may be surprised that this has been going on for thousands of years, Abel. Yeah. I mean, if you go back and really look at some of the pagan holidays, we celebrate them today. Halloween, for example. We're coming into the autumn or the fall, right? And this is where now you're getting your harvest. So I take it back to that, because if you look at it, we live by 4 seasons. And a lot of the times in these seasons, it was time to harvest. And when you harvest, then you celebrate. And then you're waiting for the next solstice to hit, so that you know that longer days are coming. So that's how the pagans celebrated Saturnalia, which was a Roman holiday. And that was mainly what they did for Christmas. That was their type of Christmas, until Christianity again celebrated itself the same way. And this is not something against religion or nothing, but a lot of it does come back to either pagan or religion holidays. And I think that's why you see that during the fall, going into winter, they're getting braced for what's coming, which is shorter days up until December. The winter solstice goes by, more sun starts coming up. Oh, wow, spring comes up. Oh, wow, life is coming up. Now you got Easter. And Easter is exactly the equinox where you're going to have the same amount of sunlight as you did the night days, right? So that's a balance of what's going to happen after that. And again, what does that mean? That's survival. that survival for us, because that's when you can harvest, or I mean, start cropping your crops. Again, we got to look at, just as we are as humans, is that we need to eat. If we don't eat, we won't survive. And we have all of these seasons that go by, and I think if you follow them, then I think that kind of gives us an idea of why we do things the way we do, right? Behaviors that we have. And I think we've done these for thousands of years. So I think back to your deal, I agree that maybe we should have a longer extended period of time, because if you're going to, like, I look at, for example, Thanksgiving, that falls almost the fourth Thursday of every November. And then like a month later, you have Christmas. And after that, I think, what do we have? The New Year's, and then we got
You got your few president's holidays that you get the Monday off.
I mean, it seems like, well, if you're going to do them, rack them all up at the end of the month, at the end of the last, at the end of the year, right? Let's set half of November all the way to like the 15th of January. Wouldn't that be great? I think that would be a great refresher for us.
Yeah.
But when you say you get a week for Thanksgiving, who gets a week? The students?
Students,
Because they get they don't go back to school till the 10th or whatever it is either for Christmas.
They get a long break.
Yeah,
That's
they get a super
break.
long break.
Yes.
So,
yes.
but I mean, like I think that that holiday season, a lot of people right after New Year's will start taking down their decorations and stuff, and I guess that's their prerogative. But I think the kids are still home, and it's pretty much the same as Thanksgiving. Because it's Wednesday and we're working, and so we're not off this week, and we get Friday and Thursday and Friday. I guess we're off, but it's I don't Monday is back to work for everybody.
But the mood, Abel, would you say that mood, once you start feeling that nostalgic feeling of Thanksgiving, do you feel like Monday you're back to like you're re-energized, or you're starting to look forward to the next holiday?
We said it. So Thursday's Thanksgiving, Friday's Christmas, right? Friday, I already have my lights up for Christmas, right? Because it looks good for Christmas, for Thanksgiving too, right? But Friday starts Christmas, and so like it is almost a 45-day holiday for me, because you're just in that season. Yeah, you're in that season that entire time. So, I think I could see if we were like, well, kids, you go to school all the way to the 23rd, and you get the eve and the day off, and then that next weekend, Monday, you come to school, but everybody's off. I mean, most people, the schools are off. But, I don't think, before it used to be like, on Thanksgiving, no grocery stores were open, right? On Christmas Day, no grocery stores were open. On the 1st of the year, January 1st, no grocery stores are open. So you had to like stock up for these in preparation of all the stores being closed down. Now everybody's just open, right? Because it's like, well, we can make a lot of money still. So guess what? You're working.
Rohi, so what do you suggest? Do you suggest we should take 30 days off? Because I liked your idea.
No, I mean, you do see it in other, like with like New Year's and stuff, where the idea of extended like festivals is nothing new. I mean, it's been going on for thousands of years, But my point is that, what point are we gonna, like I said, like with Columbus Day, are we just gonna say, well, it's not really necessary. It's not a recognized holiday by anybody, especially now if you incorporate the whole indigenous thing, and people are obviously not liking maybe what happened. I could see it being dissolved and just saying like, well, now it's offensive to celebrate Thanksgiving because, like you said, it's about the Indians and the Pilgrims and what happened, so we dissolve it. Well, that time's got to go somewhere, because the kids can't be in school that much days. They have so many days that they're in school, so just tie it all together, put it with Christmas, New Year's, whatever you want to call it. Give them an extended stay. If it's already 3 weeks now, give them the extra week, whatever.
So what does that mean for businesses, though? I mean, would you say the same for businesses? I know, and I'm not sure if this happens in other countries, but if anybody's watching and has close ties to other countries and they do something differently, love your comments and let us know if there is. Maybe there's something here that we're trying to do. Is we're trying to push for an extended extended vacation. And I do see the point in it, because I think, like you said, it's really hard to come out of Thanksgiving not really feeling like sluggish, because it's still, for me, it still feels like the holidays. And within a couple of weeks, my kids will be out of school again, and then they'll be anticipating the Christmas holiday. And what sucks about Christmas is that you have it on the 24th, you get the day off the following day, but I mean, it just, let's say, for example, it ends on a Wednesday. The 26th, you're back to work. The 27th, it just doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got the first
And then-
coming on, you know, and
yeah.
that's
But that's what
another
I'm saying,
holiday.
like with
So,
Thanksgiving being a Thursday,
Yeah.
I mean, taking a whole week off, like you don't get that with any other holiday. Like, you know, when President's Day or whatever happens on a Monday, you get Monday off. But Thanksgiving, it seems like, especially with schools, go to Monday, Tuesday to school, and then have your Wednesday be your travel day. You spend Thursday with your family, and then Friday's a travel day because, you know, you're already stuffed, and then you come back Monday. But,
Yeah.
you know, you're kind of adding 2 extra days of nobody, you know, why? You know,
Yeah.
again, in less than 30 days, you're going to go back and redo it again with Christmas, the same exact thing. And to me, I think that Christmas holiday being a 2-week period or 3-week period, that's kind of your travel day. Like that's the day you would go with your family
Yeah.
and go hang out and, you know, do whatever you're going to do. So
you know, the problem with that, I mean, that I have is that everybody's anticipating those days to get out, just like end of school. June is end of school, so let's go.
The only people enjoying that are the teachers.
yeah.
You don't get
Yeah.
you don't get all the
No, but
vacation
for-
days.
I guess the vacation there, it becomes very, I think because everybody plans around those dates to travel.
Yeah.
And if you're traveling, I mean, I can't tell you how like chaotic it could be.
Yeah.
Because you're wanting to get to point A from point A to point B at the same time that millions of other people want to do the same.
Yeah.
And I think for me that becomes like I don't want to be around that. That's why I don't want to be around Black Fridays because everybody's anticipating the same thing.
Yeah.
And I go, man, I'm just like there's no,
I didn't know what you were gonna say.
so being that it's Thanksgiving, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I would think that this would be a great day to enjoy something other than. But I think you know people find the excitement of really getting a deal. But are they really getting a deal?
Yeah.
Or is it maybe the day that I mark up this amount and I discount this amount,
Yeah.
but truly I get what I really wanted, right? I mean, I think marketing is very strategic in the way they do things. So for me, it's like, okay, you're saying it's $500 originally. You posted up for 1,000. You say it's 50% off. I mean, you're still getting it for the same thing, right?
I think the deals are real.
Okay.
The deals are real.
They're
like,
not.
I mean, the same TV that was $2,000 all year long, you know, they didn't say, all right, now it's $2,500. We're going to mark it down to $2,000.
It's not the same TV. I'll tell you that.
But it is. But it is it is going to be the discontinued item, right? So we got a
It's
new
a
wave.
clearance.
Yeah, we got a
It's
new
not.
wave.
I can go the whole episode on that, but
Well, I would say for the rookie amateur
Yeah.
guys, you know, I do see there is value there. Again, like for when I see there's an item that I've always wanted, right? Or even a golf store, right? Golf equipment can be pricey, right? But if all of a sudden Roger Dunn or someone's having a 25% discount, I'm gonna not buy,
Yeah.
30 days leading up to that and wait for that Black Friday so I can rack up 25% off, right? And I might save $50. It might only be $50, but it's still $50, right? Why wouldn't you want to?
But I mean, like he was saying earlier, and I've heard that from other people too, the Black Friday tradition, which was like going out, camping out somewhere, going to the stores. Like I can see that, maybe in the next 5, 10, whatever years being like, what, you guys actually did that? Because we were already talking about that, like how, like you said, people don't want to fight the crowds. And maybe the savings aren't there anymore because, again, of inflation and whatever's going on. Like, it's not the crazy thing that it used to be where you fought because there was a $25 TV and there was only 10 of them and you had to punch this guy to take it. Like, it's, okay, I'm going to sit on my couch and do what and then now like Cyber Monday. And then, you get these things to where what's Black Friday anymore anyways? Is if we're not really going out, we're not fighting the crowds, like that's traditionally what it was. So
and maybe I think it comes with times, right? With eras. I feel like generations have different eras where these things happen in the 1950s, these things happen in the 70s and 80s, and you could hear that, Black Friday, and you would see people out in Best Buy, lines out the door for that new Nintendo or or the Sega or the PlayStation.
Whatever,
now. And not too long ago, the iPhone, I think back when the iPhone 1 or 2 came out, I mean, everybody wanted the latest iPhone, and there was lines that would stretch out for blocks, and sometimes, I don't know, just to try to get an iPhone.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow.
Well, my family was making fun of me because my birthday was on the 17th, and so usually right around November for like the last I don't know, 13 years. Modern Warfare or Call of Duty always comes out with their new game, like right around that time. And so so my wife would always buy it for me, and then like pre-order it for me, and then I'd go wait. This is like 2009, 2010, and I'd be waiting in line at GameStop or wherever she ordered it from. And it was like the midnight release, and you were waiting in line with all these other gamers, and like at midnight, and you're getting your game, and you take it home, and I'm like, man, that's crazy. You don't need that anymore. You just buy it online, and it downloads right to your
What's
to
your caller?
console.
What's your tag ID? Maybe I can
Follow me. You ever heard of Ninja? No.
Ninja. That's the guy that always.
That's
gets you
actually me.
That's the guy that's always. What do you call them? Camping. They're campers.
Oh man. Well, hey guys, we'd like to know your guys' traditions. What do you guys think? We covered kind of a lot, both our own personal routines for Thanksgiving, as well as our thoughts on the significance of the day itself, how much attention is paid to it, in comparison to other holidays. But would certainly like you guys' feedback. So like, comment, let your friends know that we're out here and we're talking a lot of jargon.
Yes, we are.
Gentlemen, you got anything else to add?
Happy Thanksgiving to all of you, and look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Same.